Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to just share kind of an off-the-cuff, not scripted video on how my life has changed since I've become, a avid manifestor. Okay, I use it for everything from if I want dinner, or if I want to manifest a car, or if I want to help someone get a job, or whatever. Absolutely anything and everything that I happen to remember to use my imagination for, I do. Okay, if I have a desire, big or small, of course, everything's the same size in the quantum realm of reality. But then it's just, I use my imagination and it comes true, right? So how does my life appear different to me now, as opposed to when I was a spiritual seeker and really, really trying hard for this idea of enlightenment, which I didn't even really understand? So the way that things have changed the most is that I have a lot more faith in myself. I have a lot less worrying fear about what's going to happen. Okay, so when I was just in spirituality and I thought it was just about like the chakras and like the energy and making sure that I focus on the breath nonstop for hours at a time and meditate 24/7, there's nothing wrong with that. I will never say that there's anything wrong with that. All right, that's perfectly fine. But as opposed to that, I am much, much happier. Okay, I am much, much happier because in those times I still had fear. In those times, I was still looking for an outside God that would save me because I needed help. Because I didn't know that what I was imagining and what I was feeling and thinking feelingly was creating my experience. Okay, so now that I know there's only one cause, it's not the position of the stars, it's not the tarot cards, it's not the crystals in your pocket, it's not any of that, okay? And I'm not hating on you, I'm just telling you that when you give your power away, then you're gonna have to work to get it back, okay? There's one cause, and that cause is your consciousness. In other words, your imagination, okay? That is the creative power, all right? The universe is mental, all right? That is one of the most powerful quotes from the Kabbalion. And it comes up all the time in these videos by Joseph Rodriguez that I listen to. And he's absolutely excellent. You should check him out. But it's just so important that we realize that this entire experience we have is mental. All right? We are constantly looking for the answer to our problems. And if it's all mental, that means the answer exists within. All right? It doesn't mean that your mind is somehow trapped within your body. It just means that it's within your own awareness. When we're looking to the outside and we're watching video after video and we're reading book after book, all trying to seek after an outside God, all we're ever going to get is confusion. Because the truth is, the nature of reality is from within out. Okay, when a flower blooms, it starts from within out. Okay, the Big Bang, all right, the Big Bang started from within out. All right, the whole nature of experience, you could go on forever, but the whole thing is within out. So if you want to create something in your outer world, you have to experience it within. Okay, so if you want an experience of God, you have to have an experience of God within. All right, and to people who want something, people like when I'm in a position where I really, really need something to happen, or if I'm like really looking forward to something and I want to make sure it goes correctly, then to me, God is the fulfillment of that thing. It's not just an entity or a being or a vague essence. It is fulfillment, okay? It is the complete energy and acceptance of fulfillment of what I desire. So to me, that's God in those situations. Like if you ask a homeless person who God is to them, maybe they don't have anything that they can tell you, because if there were an outside God, how could they let that happen? How could a truly loving God allow someone to end up homeless and end up, cold in the dark outside? And it's hard to believe in. It's hard to understand until you realize that it is within, okay? Do you not realize Jesus Christ is in you? That is, of course, unless you fail to meet the test, okay? So if the one to whom all things are possible is within, that means that all things are possible to you, all right? And you can't look to any other thing as the cause, okay? If I believed in an outside God, then it would be terrible if, that there's war and famine and hate and all of these things. But I understand that because God is love and God is infinite love, unconditional love, that love will allow you to experience even things that appear to be other than love. Okay, and I say they appear to be other than love because it is love. In truth, this 3D world, this whole physical experience we have is dead. Okay, it's dead. And you may one day have an experience where you find yourself somewhere and you just know if you stop the activity within yourself, everything will freeze. Neville Goddard explained this experience where he was in a restaurant and outside there were like birds flying and waitresses were walking around, and he felt within himself that he could stop the experience. He could stop that activity, and so he did. And the waitress walking walked not, the bird flying flew not, and the eaters eating ate not, okay? Because this whole thing is dead. He said in that time when it's frozen, every single being that he thought was real looked completely dead. They were just frozen in place. And that's what this world is. The whole world is a stage. William Shakespeare said that. Everyone's just playing a role. So the truth is, we experience these horrible, horrible things, and the people who only believe in this dead world will say, oh, what a tragedy. But the truth is, it is infinite love that allows you the experience of seeming separation from God. But you can never be separated from God. God is nearer than hands and feet, and even nearness implies separation. So, as you allow yourself to do what I do, which is to accept your own godhood moment by moment, then you have so much more faith in what's going on. You have so much more faith in yourself and in your experience. And you realize that there's not something else that you're trying to get to. There's never ever something else that you need to get to or try and do, or some sort of ascension or save the world. You don't have to do any of that. None of it. The truth is, it's all within you. So if you want to have an experience it within you in the reality of imagination. And don't do it in order to try and make a change in the physical world, okay? It is the fact that because you did it in imagination, it is real. It's not that you're imagining something to make it real, okay? And I got that from Edward R. Supplyhand, so definitely check him out if you haven't already. But it is so important that we recognize that all power is within us. All power is within us. So I'm still experiencing that. I'm only 26, so I can't say sitting here that I have absolutely everything I've ever wanted. Okay, it's not that kind of timeline. And I've only really truly understood the meaning of manifestation for maybe a little over a year now. Okay, and I've been able to use state akin to sleep method and all these other things to make things happen. So it doesn't mean that I'm perfect, and it never needed to mean that. But I will say that it helps you uncover limiting beliefs. I really found myself believing recently that because I have, a personality on here, because I'm not just doing these talking head videos with like pictures and you never see my face, I really believe that that was a limit, because people would see me and say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not in a Ferrari yet. He's not, what color's your Bugatti, right? And all these Andrew Tate things. But the truth is that's a limiting belief, because there's got to be just as many people out there that want to see someone like me. They want to see someone telling their truth. And so here I am. It's just, am I going to allow these negative thoughts, these limiting beliefs to dictate my life? Okay? And I find myself sometimes not realizing that I have these limiting beliefs. I'll try and work my way around them in order to grow around them. You can't do it. You can't grow around a limiting belief. You're just going to come back to the realization that something is not working, and you have to increase your awareness. Okay, that's where practicing meditation is important. Increasing your awareness of what you're actually accepting as a limit. Okay, and I believe that's really our goal, because it's infinite expansion. Infinity goes on forever, so you can't stop expanding and increasing your awareness. So I just notice getting more and more aware of what limiting beliefs I've allowed to dictate my life up to this point, okay? And as new experiences come around, then you discover more and more new limiting beliefs, okay? So if there's things that I've never done before, maybe I picked up skiing, okay? If I started skiing, then I would find, okay, maybe I really believe that this is the one way to get good at skiing. And that becomes a limiting belief. And it takes time for me to work up to the point where I realize that's a limit. So I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. But you must be aware in every area of your life. What are the limits that you're putting on yourself that are preventing you from simply experiencing what you want, how you want? Thank you so much for watching. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.